I'm Dr. Thaddeus John Bell. Today we're going to talk to you about African Americans and hypertension. Over the past several days, hypertension is back in the news. It is now being thought that African Americans need to have their high blood pressure treated more aggressively than any other group of people. And the reason for this is because as African Americans, our blood pressure is usually higher. And when we do have complications, those complications are even more significantly than any other group of people. Most folk are under the impression that if your blood pressure is 140/90, your blood pressure is too high. And that information is correct. So most of us will need to have our blood pressures below 140/90. Keep in mind that over 40% of African American adults have high blood pressure. A great number of those people are not even aware that they have high blood pressure, which makes it a very, very dangerous disease, because if you're not aware that you have it, you can have a heart attack or a stroke, or eventually your kidneys can go bad because your blood pressure is too high. Keep in mind that there are experts who now feel that your blood pressure should really be 135/80 or lower. We don't have all of the evidence in, so we're not sure about this as of yet. Most African Americans with high blood pressure will require more than one blood pressure medicine. It is not uncommon to be on 2 or 3 or even 4 blood pressure medicines to keep your blood pressure under control. The other thing that I'd like to point out to you is that if you have high blood pressure, it is best to use an automatic blood pressure cup to check your blood pressure. We are finding that the new blood pressure monitors that they now make are more accurate than taking it the conventional way. A lot of African Americans, particularly in Charleston, South Carolina, think that if you use moss in your shoe, it will keep your blood pressure down. Toss the moss. It has nothing to do with keeping your blood pressure under control. Also be aware that if you do have high blood pressure, you are more likely to have it under better control if you decrease your salt intake. African Americans, as a rule, are salt sensitive. And so if you eat a lot of salt, put a lot of salt on your food, your blood pressure medicines are not likely to work as well as they would work if you were not taking in a lot of salt. Remember, toss the moss. I'm Dr. Thaddeus John Bell, closing the gap in health disparities for African Americans and for the underserved.